What's up, guys? Today we are looking at the new Halloween rule breaker cards on FIFA Ultimate Team 21. So basically what EA did is they changed like all the stats for these cards and like flipped them around. So the cards aren't buffed, so to speak, but they're like buffed in certain categories and they're nerfed in other categories. So we're gonna go ahead and look through every single one and I'm gonna give my personal first reaction, knee-jerk opinions on each one. The first one we're gonna look at is this dude, Llorente. Marcus Llorente, probably one of the best midfielders you can get in the game for the price point, and just in general, probably one of the best midfielders in the game. So we look at this card. He has 84 pace, 81 dribbling, 74 shot, 79 passing, 78 defending, 82 physical. And then we look at his Scream or Rulebreaker card. His defending and physical, or I guess his defending is the stat that gets buffed. He gets way better defending, but his dribbling is absolutely shit now. So he goes from 75 agility and 84 reactions, 83 ball control, 82 dribbling, 82 composure, to absolute garbage dribbling, 74 dribbling. Which, let me tell you, like this card, like I think it's gonna feel awful. Like it's not gonna feel, because this card, the thing about this card that makes him so good is the pace and the dribbling, right? Like what kind of midfielder in the game has this pace with combined with this dribbling with like balanced 70 other stats, right? And the 82 physical. But then like he has this combination of pace, dribbling, and physicality that pretty much nobody else has in this game besides like maybe the high rated players. So then we look at this card where he has the pace, he has pretty much the same shooting, slightly better passing, the same physical, much better defending. But I mean, Llorente was already, his defending stats was already good, right? So look, I mean, if you put a shadow on this card, I mean, this card's already like super good. This is basically the same card as this card, except the dribbling is just so much better. So this card just bizarre. Like obviously he's going for a lot right now, but like this card's absolutely fine. Like there's just no difference. Like this card will probably feel better than this card on the ball, which is pretty much why you would buy Llorente. You're not buying Llorente for his like defensive prowess and like, you know, you're not buying him because he's gonna be a ball winner. You're buying him for the pace, for the dribbling, and for the strength, and he's just a great box-to-box midfielder. There's just no reason. This card, I would not drop 300k on this. So let's move on to the other cards. We go to Ocampos, Lucas Ocampos. Now this card is probably much better than his regular one. I don't really see any stats that kind of make it worse. It looks like, yeah, so I would say this card for 100k, definitely more worth it, especially that dribbling upgrade, which was part of the reason why this 82 is kind of garbage. Obviously, he has really good physicality, and he's probably not a bad striker, to be honest, but I think this card, the upgrades are actually worth it, and the physical strength downgrade is totally fine. So I'd say a Ocampos just worth it if you're interested in that player. We'll move on to this dude, Andre. He's a center midfielder, so there's not really much to say about this card. This is basically just a juiced card. There's just no reason. Like this card is definitely better than his original card, his gold card. So yeah, I mean this is a juiced card. He's probably a decent midfielder. His shooting is nerfed, but I mean his shooting was never good anyway. So yeah, this card's gonna be pretty decent, I would say, in the game. 72 pace is kind of shit, but I would say this is just basically a juiced Andre card. We'll move on to Dumfries. Now the fullbacks are like, they're usually good at a couple things and they're shit at other things. So Dumfries, this card, it looks like they nerfed his physical a little bit, right? So, but I mean, this card's gonna be fine because you have the 85 pace, which you gotta upgrade in, much better dribbling, so he'll feel so much better on the ball. Defending is better, physical not as strong as his normal card, but it doesn't really matter because having better pace, dribbling, and defending makes up for like -5 physical. So I would say this card is fine. Kamara, this card was already good beforehand, and his stats are also just juiced. I mean, and they just the only thing that's worse about this card, I believe, is the pace is a little bit less. And yeah, so this card is just not as fast as his gold card, but it doesn't matter because like all the other stats are upgraded, and you put a shot on him, he's fine. So The fullbacks are great in this game. Douglas Costa. This card is interesting. Like, I think, obviously the pace that he got nerfed, his pace got nerfed, but his shooting and his passing got so much better. The only problem with this card is his stamina is still garbage, and the defending, it doesn't really matter. But, like, yeah, I would say this card is definitely better than his regular card, just because he can actually score and shoot. And, I mean, even though he got pace downgraded a little bit, the shooting makes up for it, because this gold card is absolutely horrible at shooting. So I would say this is totally worth it. Let's go with the next one. And the next one is Objective card. I don't know how to pronounce his name. This card is Objective card. It's free. I think it's a really good card. The 85 dribbling makes up for his garbage dribbling on his actual card, and it doesn't even matter that his defense got downgraded. So yeah, this is a really good right back card. Like, because of the dribbling stat that got upgraded, this card is probably one of the best right backs in the game. So I would definitely do this Objective card if you have the time to do it, because this card is really, really good. And the strong links he has and the hybrid opportunities you can make with this card, definitely take some time to do this card. This card is really, really good. Next one we're going to look at is Lazari. I'm not familiar with this player. This seems like another just juiced card. So yeah, I mean, this is just a juiced card. There's nothing really wrong with this card. I would do it. Like, I mean, I would do it, but it's not a bad card at all if you're interested in this guy. You can go ahead and do it. Like, this card is this is just a better card overall. Even though his pace is a little bit slower, the shooting stats, the dribbling stats, the passing stats are much better than his normal card. So yeah, this is a pretty decent card if you want to use this player. I don't really know why you would want to use him. He has 3-star, 3-star. If anything, you'd probably use him as a center midfielder. But yeah, this card's alright. Harry Kane. Now this card is definitely better than his regular card just because of the pace. Obviously, the shooting is not as good as his normal card, but 87 shooting is still really good. His 85 dribbling makes up for it as well. So I mean, no question that this card is better than the actual card. I mean, there's not even debate. Like, this card has 68 pace, so yeah, we're not gonna touch on this one too much. The next one we'll look at is Nainggolan. So Nainggolan, he's got a huge pace upgrade, but the dribbling is the defending is nerfed, right? So this card is really interesting because I've used his 83, and honestly, his defending stats is what makes this card good. I don't know if this is really worth paying more for just because of the pace upgrade. Because if I have this 83 cam card, and you play him at center midfielder, and he already has great defending, you put the shadow on him, and he's 81 pace, right? Like, this is what he feels like in the game, and honestly, he doesn't feel that slow in the game. So this card, I mean, this is interesting because, like, his defending stats are not good whatsoever. You put the shadow card on him, it's just like, it's not that great compared to his base stats. Like, I mean, look, his interceptions is 86 on his base card, and with shadow on his like this special card, it's only 85. Defensive awareness is really good on his goal. I think this is one of his best stats, the 83 defensive awareness as a center midfielder. Really good. Strength tackle, really good. Sliding tackle, really good for this card. I think this card just wins 50-50 duels all the time. And I think the defensive downgrade on this card is really sad. Like, I mean, these stats suck. And you can't really play this guy, like, you don't really want to play this guy as, like, a center midfielder. You want to play this guy as a CDM or, like, a cam, I would say. Because, like, his dribbling is just so stiff regardless. Even with the dribbling upgrade is +2. So I would say this card is not worth it whatsoever. Like, I don't think this card is much of an upgrade over this regular card. Even though it looks a lot better. There's just no reason. Like, this card is just fine. There's no reason to buy this card ever. The last one we'll go to is Mertens, and then we'll look at Williams, I guess, as well. Alright, Laporte. We'll just touch on Laporte really quick. I mean, this card's definitely better. I mean, he's got 81 pace. There's not even a question if this card's better or not. The defending is a little bit lower, but it doesn't matter because he's 81 pace. So this card would be a monster because he has 81 pace and he has 88 strength. This is a monster card. I would definitely buy this card. It's monster. Even though his defending is a little lower, it doesn't matter. Mertens. So Mertens, it looks like his shooting got upgraded, but his dribbling got nerfed. This card is definitely not worth it because the whole point of Mertens as a player in FIFA is because he has really high dribbling, really high agility, acceleration, balance, And the fact that they like this is lower now, it really does not cater to you as in this meta whatsoever. If you're gonna buy Mertens, you're gonna use him for his pace and his high dribbling. You don't really care about his shooting because ideally you'll probably be one-on-one with the goalie anyways. And his shooting is good enough on his base card where you can finish most goals. So buying this card just doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. Like, you're basically paying more. You're paying like about 400k more for 90 shooting. When he already has 82 shooting is totally fine. And I would rather take the dribbling stats over the shooting stats any day of the week. So this card, not worth it whatsoever. And then we'll look at Williams, which is interesting as well. So there are two versions of Williams. It's like an SBC, right? So there's one version of him that has higher shooting, and there's one version of him that has higher dribbling. Right off the bat, the higher dribbling one is definitely better, because the shooting, in my opinion, doesn't really matter at all. Because like his base card, he already finishes when you're in front of the goal. Like you're using Inaki Williams to outpace the other player and get in front of 1v1 of the goalie. So you don't really care like about his shooting too much. So for me, the dribbling one is a lot better because he still has 82 shooting, which is fine. But the dribbling one, his agility and balance will be so much better on the ball. But at the end of the day, this card still has 2-star weak foot. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's worth it because you're still going to be playing him pretty much the same way. So the 81 card already, like your basic playstyle is outpace the opponent, get it on his right foot and score. You're not really trying to dribble anyone or skill move anyone, because he's just obviously his dribbling's not very good. But if you use his 84 with a 90 dribbling, you may be able to outskill other players easier in tighter areas, but ideally you're never really using this card to skill in tight areas. You're using this card and you're buying him because you want to outpace the other opponent and then get it on your right foot and score, because he literally cannot use his left foot. So again, I don't think this card is worth it. I don't know how much it costs. Let me see. This card is 100k. Yeah, it's not worth it. So, I mean, honestly, this promo really sucks. Like, I don't think it's a good promo from EA. The only cards I would say that are worth it are the really expensive. Like, Kane is worth it. Laporte is worth it. Costa is worth it. This objective card is worth it. A Compost is worth it if you like the player. I mean, that's like, Andre is a better card. I don't know if anyone would be interested in using him. Kamara, Dumfries, Doomfries, worth it. Lazare is a better card, but no one's going to use him. So out of the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cards, I would say like 5 of them are worth it, and 3 of the 5 are like really, really expensive. So, and there's a question to whether they really are worth paying like 500k for them. Yeah, so this promo kind of sucks. Like, I don't think any of these cards are actually better than the original cards. Like, they changed the stats they flip-flop the stats for the cards, where to the point like the thing the cards were good at they're no longer good at those stats anymore. So that's just my opinion. I would really be careful with this promo. I don't think it's that great. Hopefully Team 2 will be better. Thanks, guys.